I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
There's one word that needs to be changed. I'm sorry, Brenda, I meant to tell you that before the meeting. Under the consideration and approval of minutes, move to approve the agenda needs to be changed to minutes. You're welcome. Sorry.
That's all right. I have a motion and a second with that change. All those in favor? Motion passed. Consideration approval of minutes of the November 18th, 2014.
I move that we approve the minutes as corrected.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Unopposed. Communication. Mr. Dan Thompson.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the board for having me up here today. First, today we just received a word. Gannett and KSDK, we had a grant that we submitted for $5,000 for a vision machine. I think some of you were there for the trial with Nurse Julie. Basically, the student looks at it, they snap it, and about 3 to 5 seconds, it gives you an accurate reading. For the low kids and the young kids who have difficulties with their letters or shapes, it gives you an accurate reading without them having to interpret, tell me what letter you see. And so it's going to be a huge asset to the district. If we can get Dr. Kraus to pony up a few extra dollars, we're going to have that machine in use in the district. So that was a huge thing for us, $5,000 towards that vision machine. I want to make sure I shared that with all of you. Second, our Heartland hero, unfortunately, is on bed rest tonight. She is recovering from an upper respiratory infection, and I hope to be able to present her to you in January. I do, however, have Mrs. Marilyn Berry, if she would come up at this time.
I brought my piano player, and I'm going to be taking requests. Dan told me I couldn't talk at all, so but he didn't tell me I couldn't sing.
Marilyn started teaching back in 1983. About 18 years ago, she moved up to Farmington and joined our family, working with students who have some struggles, and she's been doing a wonderful job. Over the course of her 18 years, she's been on countless committees. She's written tons of curriculum, assessments, but we're not here because of any of that, because the real reason she's here, she touches the lives of every single child she comes in contact with. She enriches them, she blesses them, and she makes them better. There are a lot of people, when they see a struggling student, they take the bar and they lower it down and they say, here's the bar so you can reach it. Marilyn doesn't do that. Marilyn says, hey, the bar's here, but don't worry, I'm going to help get you to it. I talked to some of her students, and they said, tell me about Mrs. Berry. Okay, some of those I couldn't actually say out loud, but the ones that like her said she's super duper nice. One said she takes me from slow up to fast. But the one that really touched me the most was a little boy who said she helps my brain work better. And it's for that reason that Roosevelt is proud to present Miss Marilyn Berry as December's featured teacher.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks to each of you.
2 sentences.
I'm done. I'm done with my sentences. I really am. I'm finished. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to me. It really does. You know it does. And Dr. Kraus. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, guys. We're heading now.
Yeah.
Update on the bond issue, Mark? Nope.
Yeah. Always want. Everything.
I didn't trip. Just a few things that are still hanging out there that we're finishing up. Fencing has been slowed by weather, obviously. And we've had a lot of things with our maintenance department that we've been doing. So got some started at Roosevelt. Hopefully we'll get over Christmas break, get some of that, the basketball areas, at least a couple of the basketball areas enclosed. Middle school gym floor, we got bids back this week for refinishing that gym floor. Got a couple good reputable companies that do a lot of gym floors. The one that was the low bid actually did Mizzou's gym floor. So, and they redid our high school floor back when. It's been about 8-10 years ago, probably. But they came in lower than what actually we thought, and so have a recommendation in there to go ahead with recommending Lubert hardwood flooring. Over Christmas break, we're going to get the lettering painted on the new Terraflex floors. The decals aren't working out as well as we'd hoped at the elementaries. The kids sit on the floor and they peel them off, so they won't be able to peel the paint off. So we're going to paint those. That was a little additional cost, but it's going to be worth it because it's going to last a lot longer. So they're going to only close one or two gyms at a time, so that we still have those gyms open for practices over Christmas break. But should have them all finished before Christmas break's over. Also had an RFP on an LED lighting that came back in. They were all over the place. There's a lot of different options that were offered. So hopefully over Christmas break I have some time to work with our electrical guys to go through those things, sift through, find the best options for us, and then we'll come back with a proposal in January on what we want to use. But I think it's reasonable that we can stay under budget by installing them all ourselves, and then have a payback of 3 to 4 years on that electricity cost, and then start saving after that. So I think it's well worth what we're doing. I think we'll get all of our outdoor lighting upgraded, and one of the gyms actually is in there too, so upgrading one of those gyms too, which I think the middle school would probably be the best option. The lighting in there is not very good, so so hopefully in January we'll have more information on which fixtures and which types of fixtures we'll be using. Doors and hardware is about closed out. Got some cores that people are requesting changing out, and I've talked to H&G. We're going to exchange some, and then they're going to use those cores and rework them for the early childhood center. So we really aren't out anything. It's just the time taking them out and shipping them back to them. That's about it on our stuff from bond issue. Any questions?
The middle school, on the lighting on it.
Yeah.
I noticed on the south end of the building, there's no lights. Either they're not working or there's no lights on. Real dark.
Exterior lights?
End. Yes. Is there?
They're,
I mean, we evaluated all the buildings that.
well, we're going to upgrade everything to LED.
Right.
Counted them, got an account on everything. We're trying to work through the ones that have fixtures that are still in good shape and have good lenses, and we're going to put retrofit and change out the guts. So that's the next thing, is we got to go through and figure out what, when we start ordering, the ones that are out now, we'll get them done first, and then the ones that are in good shape, we'll just change out the guts of them, and so that we're upgrading and saving energy. But it's about half the money for a retrofit fixture as opposed to the whole thing.
Good.
But I know there's some out, and we have put it off a little bit. We've tried to, the ones that are in spots that we need to maybe replace quickly, we'll get done, but I'm trying to get them all in one lot so we save some money.
The only reason, it just seems like the middle school is one of the darkest schools around, and and there's lots of things going on over there all the time.
I know we put some new ones in, some new LED in the back. I really didn't know that the ones that are out on the end, but I'll check them, and if we have to go ahead and get some, we'll go ahead and get them. All right?
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thanks.
Now we're down to discussion and action items. I believe we have a presentation from Sam Woodring and Kelly Learman from LJ Hart.
Thank you for having us tonight. I am on the clock for 3 to 4 minutes, so I'll keep it short. We brought with us tonight the final numbers on your refunding of your 2010 bonds. When Sam and Larry were last here in November, the savings was around $682,000, and your final savings is $732,082. So about a $50,000 improvement from what you last saw. So we were very pleased with those results. Your bonds will be shortened by 2 full years, so your final maturity date will be 2023, and your interest rate is lowered from 3.02% to 1.84%. Your 2010 bonds originally refunded the 2006 and 2007 bonds, saved you just over $1.5 million. So this additional savings will bring you up to just over $2.2 million on those bonds alone. And then your total savings on all your refundings and prepayments is now $7,489,000. So a great history with the district, and that's since 1994. Your local bank participation, the New Era Bank bought $1,100,000 of the bond issue, and the First State Community Bank bought $425,000. So good support from the local banks. And I'll have Sam just show you the final schedule, and then we'll go through your spreadsheets, and then we'll be done.
If you go to the schedules, page number 4, it's titled Schedule 8 at the top. That's the schedule for the refunding. You'll see the first 2 maturities there have a high interest rate. Those were issued at premium to cover the cost of issuance.
And the investors pay a little bit more upfront to get that higher coupon, and then you receive those funds when the issue closes, and that covers your costs.
And then if we can skip through the rest of the schedules there, that just shows the savings there. If you go to the spreadsheets, start with spreadsheet 8. This is just your current situation, what you have outstanding. And you can see the balances are very healthy. Your balances, the blue column on the far right, balances and your debt service versus your total fiscal year payments, the dark green column on the far right there. And then we've included spreadsheets 10 and 11, and these just include the remaining $18 million that you're scheduled to issue over the next 2 years. And this includes, our spreadsheet 11 includes if you issue the 2016 issuance with a premium to cover any extra costs that might occur.
So if you want to look on spreadsheet 11, as Sam said, on the far right, your dark blue column is your balances and your debt service, and then the dark green are your total fiscal year payments. So this includes the refunding that you're approving tonight, plus the additional $18 million in 2015 and 16. So your balances, even with the premium sale, your balances are pretty much in line with your payments out through about 2018, 19, and then they start to grow again. So you won't need to make any prepayments for the next probably 4 to 5 years. And then at that time, if you have additional needs for new money, you have the capability for another no tax increase, or you can start prepaying your debt. Any questions for us?
Sounds good.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. FEMA Safe Room, Wade and Mark.
This past, or 2 weeks ago Thursday, December 4th, we received bids on the early childhood FEMA shelter. That day we received 3 different bids from general contractors, which included pricing for 5 different bid alternates. We took those bids, and the low bidder was Brock Miller Construction from here in town. We have reviewed those bids with Matt and Mark, and also reviewed them in-house with our project team. Based on this review, We performed some value engineering to reduce some of the cost and scope from the bids, as well as accept one alternate, which will include the basically the bus loading canopy at the new cafeteria entrance that will lead directly to the new bus route to the north of the existing cafeteria. Based on this value engineering, we've recommended to the school district awarding a contract for $5,374,268. To briefly summarize some of the major value engineering items that we brought to the table, as well as Brock Miller brought to the table, we reduced general contingency allowance in the project significantly, but we did leave some in to address unforeseen conditions on the site. We also eliminated 2 dumpster enclosures that were of significant value. We also eliminated some ornamental fencing for the playground that the school district will install themselves at a later date. Various miscellaneous items, some miscellaneous scope that we took out. And also, originally we had intended to replace the existing transformer for the Truman Cafeteria with a new transformer and switchgear. In reviewing that with the electrician as well as with City Light and Power and our engineers, we're going to leave the existing transformer in place, provide a new transformer adjacent to the FEMA shelter, and that will save us about $26,000. So we've really streamlined the design, or I should say some of the scope, without sacrificing any teaching or learning spaces. All of those will still be maintained to keep us within the target budget that we wanted for the project. So based on a review, we think we're in where we would like to be, and we make that recommendation to the board to award that contract. Just to let you know, the other bids, the next bid was within about $50,000, $45,000 on a $5.6 million project. Very tight bids between the 3 bidders. So.
And I've shared this with the board, but just so the audience knows, when we got the value engineering pieces, we actually shared that. I think Sarah, Mark, and I sat down last Friday afternoon and sat down with Kim Johnson, the building administrator, and then a couple of her lead teachers, as well as Kim Weekly, who will be in that building as parents, as teachers. So we went item by item through that value engineering, and they felt like the items that we were removing we could do without, and the items that we kept in are integral to the quality and the atmosphere of the building. So again, I appreciate the work done, and I think we've got an end product that we'll be happy with.
Any questions on any of the items I brought up, or any other thoughts on the early childhood as we continue to move forward on the process?
I know if the LED lighting's been removed on this project.
No, it remained in.
Oh, it remained, okay.
We did get a price for it, but we left that in the project.
Oh, I see.
Based on a review with the school district and with our engineers.
And we do have 4 items that we are still to be determined. We do not have prices back on.
Correct.
But
and we'll continue to evaluate those. I don't know if they'll be big or small. I think they'll be somewhat on the smaller side, but we continue to keep an eye out for the best savings along the way, and Brock Miller does the same as far as working through those with different suggestions. So, any other questions, comments? Thank you for your time. I don't have a full update, just a brief update. We continue to move forward on the other projects. We met with Matt and Nathan and Mark today to talk about the first round at the high school. The other projects, we're continuing to fine-tune the scope and budgets and move forward. So, okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Okay. If there's no further discussion on the action items,
I would move to approve all consensual items except for item D at this time.
I have a motion to approve all items except D. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve all items except D. That would be A, B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. There's no further discussion. All those in favor? None opposed? And now I would entertain a motion for item D.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for item D. All those in favor? And I'll abstain. At this time, I would entertain a motion to adjourn to closed session.
I move to adjourn to closed session to discuss personnel pursuant to 610.021, paragraphs 1, 3, 13, and 14.
Second.
Han,
Yes.
Kane,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Lawson,
Yes?
Noble,
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Thanks for coming, folks.
Thanks, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Have a good Christmas.